Lu Shu stirred beneath the tangled sheets, her torn nightwear clinging to her body as she shifted. The room around her was a chaotic testament to her restless energy. Clothes draped carelessly over the door and chair, folded drawing papers scattered across the floor. Among them, some lay crumpled, rejected works of art, while others bore meticulous sketches of a single person. On the wall, an animated poster of a faceless figure loomed over the space, its presence eerie yet strangely comforting. Framed pictures of the CEO, Lu Min, stood beside it, their glass reflecting the morning light that filtered in through the curtains. Shu's reading table was an organized mess. Pencils and color pens clustered in a cup, open sketchbooks revealing yet more drawings of the CEO. A lone pencil and eraser rested nearby. The last tool she'd used before exhaustion claimed her the night before. The soft glow of her bedside lamp illuminated a small table beside her bed, where her phone lay silently next to an alarm clock that had long since stopped being of any use to her. Then, the phone rang. Shu groaned, her slender fingers reaching blindly for the device, answering the call without so much as a glance at the screen. "Hello," she mumbled, voice laced with sleep. A deep, familiar voice crackled through the speaker. "Aren't you supposed to be here?" Shu yawned, rubbing her eyes as she struggled to process the words. The sound of laughter followed, light and amused. "Are you kidding me right now?" the voice continued, amusement giving way to something sharper. It wasn't until the voice grew louder, irritation creeping into its tone, that realization hit her like a cold wave. Her eyes darted toward the clock on the bedside table. 7:30 a.m. Her breath caught in her throat. She tried to speak, to explain, but the line went dead before she could form a coherent sentence. Cursing under her breath, Shu threw aside the covers and sprang from the bed, her heart pounding as she bolted toward the bathroom. The city was already alive, its streets pulsing with movement as Shu weaved through traffic on her lady's bike. Dressed in her signature cropped top, jeans and a lightweight jacket, she pedaled with urgency, her canvas shoes pushing against the pedals in quick, forceful motions. The cool morning air brushed against her flushed cheeks, strands of her long hair whipping behind her. She had no time to admire the sunrise casting a golden hue over the city skyline. Her focus was singular: getting to work. The momentary calm shattered as a sleek black car sped past her, its tires screeching against the pavement. Shu barely had time to react. The sudden gust of wind from the speeding vehicle sent her bike wobbling. She gritted her teeth, fighting for balance, but the odds were against her. With a sharp gasp, she tumbled off her bike, her body hitting the hard pavement. Pain shot through her palms as she braced herself against the rough concrete, her breath hitching. For a brief moment, she remained still, the adrenaline dulling the sting of her minor scrapes. The car, however, never stopped. Shu's eyes followed its retreating form, frustration bubbling beneath her skin. Shaking off the pain, she pushed herself up, dusting the dirt from her jeans. Her hands trembled slightly as she gripped the handlebars, lifting her bike back into position. There was no time to dwell on the setback. Jaw set, she climbed onto the seat once more and pedaled forward, determination burning in her veins. She refused to be late. The fruit store stood at the corner of a bustling street, its entrance framed by crates overflowing with fresh produce. The bright colours of apples, oranges and bananas gleamed under the sunlight, a stark contrast to the tension pooling in Ju's stomach as she arrived. She parked her bike in the makeshift rack outside, inhaling deeply in an attempt to steady herself. Then, she stepped inside. The store was alive with movement. Employees hurried back and forth, customers haggled over prices, and the rhythmic sound of produce being weighed filled the space. The air was thick with the scent of ripe fruits, mingling with the faint, ever-present aroma of cardboard boxes. Xu barely had time to take it all in before her eyes landed on a familiar figure. Ma Chao. The stout woman stood at the center of the store, her face flushed as she barked orders at her employees. Her frustration was evident, the sharpness of her tone cutting through the noise. Xu's stomach tightened. She knew that look. Before she could take another step, Ma Chao turned, her eyes narrowing as they landed on Xu. The moment stretched between them, heavy and unyielding. Then, "Don't you dare take another step forward, Xu!" Ma Chao's voice boomed across the store, cutting through the chatter. Heads turned. "You better crawl back to your bed because you are fired." Xu's breath caught. Fired? The word echoed in her mind, disbelief freezing her in place. She felt the weight of the store's attention pressing against her, the heat creeping up her neck. She had woken up late, yes, but to be fired? Just like that? Her hands clenched at her sides. She wanted to speak, to defend herself, but the words refused to form. Ma Chao's glare remained unyielding, and just like that, the world around her shifted. The towering edifice of Lu's Co-Limited stood as a testament to innovation and power, its sleek glass facade reflecting the morning sun. Employees moved in a steady stream through its grand entrance, their presence a reminder of the company's vast reach. A black luxury car glided smoothly into the VIP parking space. As the driver stepped out, his movements measured and precise, he walked around the vehicle with an air of authority before pulling open the passenger door. Liu Min emerged. At 24, she was the undisputed force behind Lu's Co-Limited, her influence stretching across the world of technology and entertainment. Every step she took commanded attention, her designer attire emphasizing the aura of confidence that surrounded her. Despite the whispers that followed her, some in admiration, others in fear, she never faltered. The cat snake of the workplace, they called her. A name earned through sharp wit, ruthless efficiency, and an enigmatic charm that made her either feared or revered. Her eyes flicked toward the building ahead, her mind already running through the agenda for the day. Another day of leading the empire she had built. Another day of ensuring no one dared to challenge her authority. The office was a picture of sleek sophistication. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed the city skyline, while the rich mahogany desk at the center exuded a quiet power. Liu Min leaned back in her chair, swinging idly as she studied the man sitting across from her. Mr. John. His face was a mixture of fear and desperation. Without a word, she slid an envelope toward him. The bold letters across its surface sent a chill down his spine. "You are fired," he swallowed, his hands trembling as he opened it. Inside, he found his severance, 3 months' salary. Generous, but final. Before he could protest, Liu Min's phone buzzed against the desk. She picked it up, dialing a number with practiced ease. "Ying," she said, her voice smooth, unwavering. "To my office. Now." Seconds later, her secretary stepped in, poised and professional. "Escort Mr. John out." With a sinking heart, Mr. John rose to his feet, his mind clouded with regret. He should have been more careful. As he left, his phone chimed. A new message. Curious, he glanced at the screen. A screenshot. His own face staring back at him. Caught, red-handed. His breath hitched as the reality sank in. There was no escape, and Liu Min had known all along. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, and share your thoughts on the story. Like this video, your support means a lot. Stay tuned for the next episode.